and Irish. The idea of being a fish out of water is very familiar to me because to some people my eyes are too slanted, and to others they aren't slanted enough. It wasn't easy growing up in Chinatown, the only American-born kid with a big Irish last name. There are subtle differences in the ways that people carry themselves that can tell you that they're from another country. Americans tend to have bigger movements and a bit of a swagger. For me, this just comes across as clumsiness. The other girls were so graceful and beautiful compared to me, the ugly American. They used to call me Twinkie because I'm yellow on the outside and white on the inside. I hated the white part. As hard as that was, it was even harder after moving out of Chinatown to a small town in New Jersey and discovering that I also faced prejudice being Asian. In the 1990s, New Jersey had the highest concentrated skinhead population in the entire country. Sometimes I'd be out in an unfamiliar area, walk into a place like a bar or a diner, and then start to realize that everyone stopped talking and were staring. It would take me a minute to figure out that they're staring at me. There was this one time, some friends and I went to find a place to shoot pool, and we found this bar in the middle of nowhere, and kind of got this weird feeling when we walked in there, like, I thought I saw a couple of guys looking at us. This all went over my head until this huge guy came up to us and told us we had to leave. I looked around, and it hit me, and it chilled me to the bone. Everyone in the bar was white. People I came in with were all white, and I'm a foreigner. I'm identified by how I'm different. Like, people look at me and see what they think is lacking, and then define me by that. Like a reverse chameleon, I become the other to whatever the majority in the room is. When you're biracial, you get the benefit of all of the stereotypes. It can be lonely navigating the ocean of other people's expectations. Chinese people are surprised that I know how to use chopsticks. White people are confused when I don't behave like a proper passive Asian woman. And being biracial can be alienating similarly to growing up knowing that you're gay. You're taught that the majority is right, so you must be wrong, because you aren't part of that. Your existence is wrong. It makes people uncomfortable when they can't frame you in a way that makes sense to them. Like the people who want to know what kind of Asian I am. I don't mind talking about it, but it shouldn't be the first thing that people ask me. Like that trumps my status as a person. And I really don't like it when strangers come up to me and ask me that. And this happens more often than you would think. And I usually just tell them, and they're like, I knew it! Why is this such a fun guessing game for everybody? It's not fun for me. It's kind of objectifying to be treated like an exotic breed at a show dog competition. When people get that look on their face and ask me where I'm from, I'll say, Philadelphia. Nice. And I hope they take the hint from that, but nobody takes it. I went through this weird period of time a few years ago where people kept asking me if I know karate. And I kept telling them, karate's Japanese. I found myself wishing they would at least ask me if I know Kung Fu. But then again, the answer would still be no. Speaking of Kung Fu, everyone knows Bruce Lee, but most Americans don't know that he was half Dutch. When he was here in America, he endured horrible racism in his professional and personal life. But growing up in Hong Kong, He had to deal with a lot of prejudice because of being mixed. When training, the other students refused to spar with him because of this. So he sparred with the masters instead. Any bullied kid has the potential to grow up and be like Bruce Lee. It's all in how you react. This is what I've learned about being a fish out of water. It feels like a curse, but it's a blessing. A fish out of water can learn to walk without feet and breathe without lungs. Identifying and standing up to prejudice is as natural as breathing to me. And when you fight back against ignorance, it makes you a stronger person. Being rejected by both worlds means that I had to work harder to figure out who I am. And as the parameters became more defined of what makes me who I am, some other things rose to the surface. Connections to American and Chinese culture that I feel in ways that words can't touch, in ways that are unknowable. It feels like these are pieces of my soul that are carried in my blood. And the shape of my soul can't be changed by what people see when they look at me.